Hey guys, in this video I want to talk a little bit about Skeleton Crew and my thoughts on it so far. So, first off, I just want to say that when I was watching the first three episodes, I actually had an idea on the hero's journey. And I remember learning about the hero's journey a long time ago. I don't know where I learned it from. I think it was from watching some videos, but essentially the hero's journey is this right here, where the hero goes on a journey, as the name suggests, in which a story happens. So this is like how a story would be. Famously, A New Hope is follows the hero's journey almost like to the T, and I kind of noticed that Skeleton Crew also has a very similar hero's journey, which I want to explore in this video. So, how does this compare? So, in the hero's journey, as you can see, there's a lot of things that happen. I'm going to go through each one of them and how I think that they compare with Skeleton Crew. So, first part is the known world and the unknown world. This is very, very clear. The known world would be At-Aten, since obviously that's the world that our main characters are in and that they know. And then they venture into the unknown world, which has pirates and whatnot. So, the first is the call to adventure. This is when they find the wreckage of the ship, which is the Onyx Cinder, which we find out later in the series. Then there's a supernatural aid. This could be represented by the ship itself or by SM-33, however you want to see it, but both ways it's going to be the same. Then there's this threshold, which they would pass by having by having the ship, or you could also see the threshold as the shield, which guards the entire planet. And then they begin the transformation. So there's a thing I want to clarify here. When I was thinking about making this video and about this comparison, I had in mind that all we had seen was the first three episodes. Now the first five episodes have been released, and I thought that my argument was going to be completely destroyed. However, I think it actually shows that that they're following this quite closely, in fact. So let's go into this section. So when they start going into the unknown world, they find a helper and a mentor. So this is very clearly SM-33 and Jod Nana Wood. I have a list here. Yeah, Jod Nana Wood. So here are all the characters, or at least most of them, the ones that we're going to be talking about at least. And yeah, obviously the person who's going through the adventure is all the kids. So Wim, KB, Fern, and Neil. So at the beginning, as we can see that there's a helper and a mentor. I would say that the helper would be SM-33 and the mentor would be Jod Nana Wood. This is because, especially in episode 5, we see how Jod Nana Wood helps Wim when he's sad and on the ship, and the helper is clearly SM-33 because he's the robot, and he helps them get out of trouble in episode 2 if I'm correct, and he also flies the ship a lot of the time, so he's clearly the helper, and the other one is the mentor. Then challenges and temptations. This is very clearly portraying what we have currently seen, which is the challenges of getting into trying to find At-Aten. That's the whole goal in this case. And obviously they will go to the owl lady, I don't know what her name is, and they essentially talk to her and try to find At-Aten, and those are the challenges. And the temptations, I at least can't think of any at this moment in time, but you could say that Jod Nana Wood has the temptation of taking the treasure and not helping the kids, which, spoiler, in episode 5, he obviously takes the treasure. So, the thing is, there's a very clear moment here at the very end, at the very middle of the hero's journey in the unknown side, where there's a revelation, abyss, death, and rebirth. So when I was first doing, when we had watched the first three episodes, and I had like kind of starting to guess what the relation between the hero's journey and Skeleton Crew would be, I honestly did not know what this part really was. I didn't really expect it to be anything, but then right after watching episode 5, it finally clicked on me, and I was like, oh, obviously the revelation is the fact that Jod Nana Wood betrays the kids. Which, also, quick side note, I do not like as a watcher, the fact that John Nanawood betrays the kids, like that is a completely valid and great story point, and it is extremely well done. However, me as a person, I don't like that. I kind of wish that the kids would be with him the entire time and he would be more of a mentor. However, it does make a lot much more interesting and fun story, so that's a completely fair choice that they took. Coming back from the side note, that is obviously what the revelation or like this big scenario, big thing that happens in the middle of the story. Now, this leaves us with atonement, which is going to be like the what the kids are going to do after Jod has betrayed them. And then, as you can see, there's the return, where they go back to the known world, aka Azatin. And then Gift of the Goddess. I don't really know what this refers to. I think this is just going to be like something that they bring back to the known world, and the reason, or like the change that they bring back to the known world. Um, this is going to be a very interesting, because if we take the hero's journey as fact and as what's going to happen in the rest of Skeleton Crew, this could be a very, very interesting thing to consider, because not only we have to still see all of this part, we have to see the transformation that they're going to go through, since all we've seen is the betrayal. That's it. And then we want the most interesting part, in my opinion, is the return. Because depending on how they do the return, this could be a very, very interesting and really cool end to the story. Because of course, the return usually in the hero's journey comes with a set of a level of change, of course. So in this case, the return could be that when they get back, maybe the supervisor is someone who they didn't think they were going to be, or someone that's a bad person, etc. So they could really do something really cool with that. So yeah, this is mostly it. If you want to know more about the hero's journey, I took this picture from Wikipedia and they explain it quite well what it is. But yeah, I think that we can. This is an interesting way to look at Skeleton Crew to maybe like sort of predict what could happen in the future, since they have been staying pretty true to it so far. And as I said, the return section is going to be the most interesting, because in the hero's journey, it's usually just portraying like how the hero brought an artifact, or how something changed, which doesn't really cause a big change to the known world. Or maybe it does cause a big change, but it's not something like in Skeleton Crew, which it could be a huge thing, since the main character, which is the well, not main character, but the main entity, which is the supervisor, we don't know much about them. So they could be a good person, they could be a bad person. There's a lot of theories on it at the moment, but yeah, I think that could be the most interesting part. And yeah, essentially my point of view on Skeleton Crew. I hope you appreciate it, and yeah, see ya.